Hello, this is Awesome 5678910, and today I'll be taking you through a chess opening against the classical French. It's a Chatard Alekhine attack. It starts off with white playing e4 and black responding with e6. Then white plays d4, which is the normal move against the French, and black plays d5, the normal response. White continues with knight c3, and Black can also play the winner, which is bishop b4. He chooses knight c6, knight f6 which is the classical variation. White brings his bishop out to g5, and now black can play the most common variation, which is d takes e4, which is called the burn variation, except there's also a variation here with bishop b5 and bishop b4, but I can't remember the name, but one of the other main moves is bishop b7, and then e5 is played, knight d7 is played, and you can exchange now, which is another line, but for the Chatard Alekhine attack, you play 1h. Now, 6h4. Now, black has many options in this position. Black can castle kingside, black can play h6, black can play f6, and he can take the bishop. Most common thing to do is take the bishop, but if people know a bit of theory on this, they might castle. So, going with the move castles now. Okay, in this position, the best move for white is bishop d3. That is the best move for white if black castles. The next move, black has not really any options. Taking the bishop here, like this, just looks suicidal now because you've already castled kingside. This is on, for instance, a variation. Bishop takes here, here, and something just like development of it. So this. Anyway, he's discovered attack. It's lost. He could even get a draw, but I doubt it. This position is just a terrible thing. So instead of taking it, the main move here is f5, just blocking the bishop's view from here, and it's completely safe. But that's the best move. If they try anything and just delay that, you're just going to get too much counterplay from your queen out. For example, if the move, say, c5 was played here, what about just a move like queen here, threatening mate down here? Now, I doubt this move can be played in this position because a bishop takes, pawn takes, and takes, and the attack nearly looks unstoppable on mate on this square. You can try this, but that just leads mate into when he comes down here, and that is mate. So it just looks unnecessary to play h6. I think the best move you can do here is g6. I mean, the dark squares are so weak on these squares around your king, and since they're very weak, and you still haven't swapped this off, it just looks good, really good. But you might even be able to sack now, push this pawn, for example, so he takes it or something. Just retreat or something. You might push this pawn here or something. Exchange, push this, and then just swap everything off and try to mate. So that definitely doesn't look good if they just do normal moves. So I think the only really good one move here is f5, which is the main move in this position. So after this move, white has three options. Again, there is g4 is one of the options. There is e takes f6, another. I've just switched it to white's point of view now, so you can see how menacing the attack looks. So as I said, there's g4, there's e takes f6, and there's knight h6. First we'll look at g4. G4. Now black is just going to crush him on the king. White is just going to crush black on the king side, now, so black has to do something. He has to try to create counterplay with c5, which is his main French idea anyway, so most French players would usually play this. You just accept it, open the G file, let's look back at this pawn. Well, actually taking back here looks actually quite bad, because this pawn in the middle looks like that. So actually I think some players in this position after G4 would reject playing C5 for this very reason. Because they think it's bad, because now you can't take it, because you just got this pawn in the center. So, I know, it looks terrible. Yeah, I'll give you a sample variation I can see. So say some idiot does take it. You take this, they take here. They have to come back now, because you're going to put your knight in here, here, push, knight here, and push. And they've just lost the exchange anyway, so actually playing e takes f5 actually loses the exchange anyway with a good position for white. So instead of that move, the main move here is c takes d4, which actually looks logical as well. Okay, so then the next move is f6. Now this is why I like the g4 line, is because it makes things very complicated. It's hard to analyze for the other opponent, where if they play the wrong move, you're just going to crush them, and if they play the right move, it's still complicated and looks like you're going to crush them anyway. So in this position, you can take this, but that's crap, because then you just take this pawn here, this bishop here with this pawn, and then these two pieces are forced, defended by the bishop. So they have to take it with something. If they take it here, well, the best move, the main move, is bishop takes, exclamation mark. But if they did play knight takes, which did happen in quite a few games, then you just play e takes f6, bishop takes f6, and then you play queen h5. If this ever happens, you always play queen h5. You have to play g6. You have to play bishop takes g6. Then they cannot really accept it, because they're just going to lose. They have to play queen 7, defending the mate. Knight b5. Knight c6. And then after this, you're going to play bishop back to d3. Knight e2. And then after bishop back to d3, e5. Knight e2, king h8. Knight e7. Takes. And then takes. And in this position, black resigned, because he's hopelessly lost in this position. It just looks terribly bad for him, and if he captures with the rook, there's all kind of things on, like here, check, and here, and rook here, check, it's just terrible. Then rook blocks, and then bishop takes, it's gonna be mate, actually. So, he resigned in this position, I can see why, and if you can memorize all of that, if you can be a very strong player, they take with their knight, and you can just crush them in 18 moves. Okay? So, basically, bishop takes f6 has to be played, I think. Bishop takes f6, like this. Then e takes f6, is a logical move. Knight takes f6, knight c2, and now you might realize that you're actually up a piece, but for in compensation, he's got 2 pawns for a piece, and these nice 7 pawns.